Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I welcome you all at a platform of Learning Zone. Today, the topic of Dawn editorial is Hard to Move, which is published in Dawn on February 14, 2024. Let's read. The caretaker Prime Minister, obviously of Pakistan, recently asserted that the nation has accepted the election results and that we must therefore move on. This is actually the topic sentence. The purpose of reading this Dawn editorial is the English that Dawn uses is good, always good if we compare with other newspapers. Secondly, there are different vocabulary of the difficult vocabulary that we actually mention the meanings of those difficult vocabulary, so it's always helpful to read a newspaper and learn difficult words on daily basis. So this is actually the topic sentence. The caretaker prime minister recently asserted that the nation has accepted the election results and that we must therefore move on. So whatever I have written in small form, there's a small font, this is actually the meaning of this bold word. Means asserted, that is state affect or believe confidently or the forcefully. With all due respect, this seems like an overly optimistic take on a terribly messy situation. That's what writer is saying. As is evident from the slew of petitions that being filed against the results, very few seem interested in moving on. In fact, means it's not that everyone is willing for move on, right? So in fact, the results are so unacceptable to certain stakeholders that in some instances, means in some example is giving, political rivals are setting aside their differences to challenge them as one. Similarly, the Prime Minister's dismissal of concerns over the tempered results based on the simplistic assertions that people believe that rigging was committed because the mobile service was suspended and the results were delayed by 36 hours is a fallacious framing of a highly serious matter. What does fallacious mean? It's based on the something that is mistakenly believed, right? Or the hard to believe. So the rigging accusations have much more to do with the suspicious conduct of many returning officers, which the Prime Minister conveniently glossed over. What does glossed over means? It's a very good terminology. Means to avoid considering something such as embarrassing mistaken, to make it seem not important, and to quickly continue talking about something else in his eagerness to prove the critic wrongs. This is a part of actually this sentence. So what does it means? It means that the prime minister or the any person who glossed over it means is not giving focus to something which we were talking about. He considered that thing less important and move very sharply to the next point, so that give us a picture that this thing we are discussing is not important. So, whether or not he feels it to be his moral duty, the Prime Minister should not be defending the Election Commission of Pakistan and its decidingly poor management of the election exercise. Nor does it seem appropriate for him to be summarily dismissing the concerns over the election rigging, especially when the complaints are being taken to the election tribunals and court. It also seems irresponsible of him to blame political parties for failing to enact effective legislation as the reasons why the poll become controversial instead of letting them take the matter up with the Election Commission of Pakistan. It is also strange that Mr. Kakar, who is the prime minister, is still having trouble deciding what fair and free and fair means. The night before the election, he told a foreign interviewer that he could not guarantee free and fair polls because the idea was very subjective. Now, he is insisting that the process was free and fair and that anyone who disagrees with the assessment is wrong. Such unwarranted self assurance and disregard for the consequences would perhaps be more easily overlooked in a properly elected leader secure in their office. However, there seems more than a little jarring. What does jarring mean? Jarring means in a striking or the shocking way, right? So, however, there seems more than a little jarring when coming from an individual entrusted with the office to do just one job. The nation will indeed move on in good time. The political system will work through its present challenges and evolve. However, the people will not be gaslit, means manipulating, into accepting less than what they deserve. The Election Commission of Pakistan will be held accountable for its failure to organize a smooth transfer of power from one elected government to the next. It is only its disastrous mismanagement of the election process that is to blame for the growing controversy over rigging, not the media, which simply fulfilled its responsibility by acting as a check on the counting process. The government should accept this simple fact and move on. That's all for today. We will see and meet in the next editorial.